Yo, 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 everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Connection Podcast. Again, my name is Alex, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about this podcast and why we should be, why we podcast. And I'm also going to introduce the team. We really haven't done a real proper introduction. Again, I'm here to introduce the Mag One Media team, talk about all things podcast. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're clicking that button right below. Stop what you're doing. Don't continue this video until you hit that subscribe button right below. All right, we're rolling the show intro. See you in a second.
You're listening to The Connection Podcast. We are a team of digital marketers, and each week we bring you successful entrepreneurs and business owners that provide informational, inspirational, and motivational success stories in the world of digital marketing.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Once again, my name is Alex Garcia. I'm the owner of Mag One Media, and you're watching The Connection Podcast. On today's show, I do want to pitch that a little more and more, Mag One Media, because I really haven't had the opportunity to do that. Mag One Media is located in Salinas, California, Monterey County, and we are a digital marketing and video production company. And now we're super excited to have created this show, The Connection Podcast. And we thank you for tuning in and listening and subscribing. We're super excited. As of yesterday, we finally got it up on Anchor and some audio experiences. We're working right now on Spotify, iTunes, but we're pretty confident it's all going to be getting up and going. And so I'm going to start right here today. Typically, every week we're going to have a guest on this show, and my guest will be sitting right across from me. And on today's episode, I have my amazing video editor and crew team member right here, Alejandro. And Alejandro, welcome to the show. And
The Connection Podcast.
The Connection. Yeah, again, this show wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for everybody in this room. So let's just we'll take a little time to talk about what we're going to be talking about through multiple episodes of these shows and week to week. But again, I want to introduce the crew. Alejandro, introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm Alejandro. I'm part of the Mag One Media team, and I've been here for almost 2 years. And I do video production, video editing, a lot of art-related things. And I like to indulge in art, video, music, all the good work, and educate myself so I can, reciprocate that and make content for people and have fun.
And make good content.
Yeah. Alongside this sexy team.
And if you're ever in the Central Coast, you love to surf too, huh?
I love surfing. This area is just amazing for nature and surfing and wildlife and ocean life. It's just like a zoo out there. You go out there one day and you just come back with hundreds of photos and just like experiences, even like surfing in the water and with your friends. It's amazing.
I had the great pleasure of meeting Alejandro one day. I was in a video shoot, I think for a local tax guy, and actually I had met you prior to that, and you worked at a local TV station, and we made some communication. I had walked in there one time, and I was in the production department, and we were introduced to one another, and we were told that we'd be communicating for when I'm uploading a TV spot or whatever it is. And anyhow, we made a connection, and then that could have been a year, 2 years later, we crossed paths, and as we had throughout time. And then shortly after that, there was like a little email back and forth. Hey, you do any freelance stuff? I was starting Mag One Media.
Hey, you need a janitor?
So anyways, I was pumped when Alejandro said he was interested in maybe a little freelance work, this and that. I was building Mag One Media, and next thing you know, you filled in for a week, and then next thing you know, you've been here for almost 2 years.
I set my bed.
That's awesome. But and again, we're honored to have you being part of the team,
thanks.
and thanks
My
for
pleasure.
all the contributions of all the great video work that's being pumped out of this office. So again, we're going to keep the show fairly tight today, and I think throughout shows, everybody's going to get a little dip of getting to know who we are as a team, and getting to know who I am, and of course getting to know each individual and a little more of our personalities as we are, whether they're tuning in on YouTube or whether they're just listening right there on their cans on a subway or wherever it is they're tuning in. But to my right, week after week, a guy that I actually got pitched on, like, hey, I got somebody that's going to work for you, that needs to work for you. This guy needs to work for you, It's right
out of a catalog.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, oh, I got so he'll come work for free for you. He needs an internship. Man, I think what you're doing fits right into everything that is going to interest him. And that's my guy right here to the right, Jovan. Jovan's been part of the Mag One Media team for coming up on a year and within a couple of months.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I know. It's flying by. Jovan's our social media manager and manages all of our many social media accounts and gets to speak to the thousands of followers of, tens of thousands of followers probably.
He answers all the fan mail.
And he answers the fan mail and writes some terrific blogs and email blasts. Again, we're honored to have that element being, part of our team.
That's one thing I really like. He's a really good writer.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal
writer. Tell the world about yourself.
Tell the world about yourself and a little bit about your background and how you landed here at Mag One Media.
Well, first of all, I've always hated English class, but that's why I don't know how this happened. But a little bit about me. I'm 23 years old. I'm from Salinas, born and raised. I'm a recent graduate from the UC San Diego, where I majored in cognitive science and specialized in human-computer interaction, which is how humans and computers all kind of mesh together. And then when I moved back here, I landed this job here, and it's been great. I love creating content. I love pushing social media, and on the side, fun fact, I teach hip hop dance classes. Yeah. So by day I'm a social media marketing manager, and by night I'm a hip hop choreographer and teacher.
That's awesome.
I'm like a superhero.
Secret identity.
What I love so much about that is that dance is so artistic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So again, Jovan has told me from the start, I'm not really hip on Photoshop. I'm not really a creator in that direction. I go, that's not what we need. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's not the elements that's fine. We can kind of learn as we go. I'll teach you a couple of things here and there, and what just the basics are just enough of what you need and what we need from you. But we're creating content in other ways, writing. Again, back to your English and writing skills, creative, the thought process, the being able to take a client's vision and elaborate on that, having never stepped in their doors. You know what I'm saying? So I applaud you.
Definitely have to put on different hats. From being extra professional, very clean cut, to being very fun and friendly, and it's always a learning process here. I'm always learning continuously, keeping up with trends, keeping up with anything that comes my way.
And with that, he's pulling on our shoulders and asking us for creative content and or even creating some himself. And like we said, these email campaigns and things like that, which we'll dive into through periodic shows. But again, in his mind, I'm sure that's artistic, that creativity is there because of busting a move and then pulling that moonwalk is lives deep in his roots.
Yeah. Killer moonwalk, right?
Yeah,
it's all right.
It's all right.
Maybe one of these days I'll hop on this table and do a little show.
We'll capture it. We'll be sure to roll it on that podcast.
Live stream that.
Yeah, tune into the YouTube channel to catch that. Maybe one day. Jovan, we're super honored to have you here. This is you've been a critical and very valuable asset to us, to our team, and we're honored to have you here, part of the Mag One Media team. Again, everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening. This is The Connection Podcast. This is not Mag One Media Podcast. I wanted it to specifically be something different other than Mag One Media because, again, week after week, we're going to bring guests on the show. Some guests may have other competing businesses, things like that, and it's not about who we are as a company. It's just about, giving real good value and good content, good information to the listeners, and that may be coming by way of who's sitting in our guest seat. Yeah. They may be, like I said, in another marketing company, and I don't want to feel any competition when it comes to business. I want the listener to receive great content and just really drive that fact that we're some good credibility of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
They get it.
If I didn't make sense to you and you're listening and you're watching and on a platform where you can make a comment, go ahead and do so right now. I know
Yeah.
I say a lot. I know I say one too many times, but I really want this show to be us, to be real. We're just talking. You know what I'm saying? And do that week after week, and provide some really good, drop some good knowledge on our listeners.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm enjoying it so far. We're 3 episodes in, but before we move forward into this show, we got one more guy in the room who I'm super pumped to have part of our team. This guy he's awesome. He's awesome.
Man, he's a G.
He's a G.
He's a G.
Man, he's switching the show right now. He's controlling the sound. He's throwing the graphics on the screen. This is our man, Hector Reyes from Hector Reyes Films.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show, Hector. Thanks for being our producer.
Thanks for having me.
I guess our technical director, that'd be considered, but
I think so.
Yeah.
Just a little bit about me. My name is Hector Reyes. I'm a filmmaker here in Salinas, California, born and raised. I'm 25 years old. And I'm also the assistant editor here in Mag One Media, and I'll be doing the whole switching around for the whole show. So I'm pretty pumped, man. I'm excited for this.
Man, I'm super pumped too. I had the great pleasure of meeting you, Hector, through a referral, and that guy that referred you is sitting right across from me, Alejandro. Thanks again for introducing me to such a creative guy. We were working on a big project where we were doing a 5-camera shoot, live stream.
Yeah.
We're super blessed and honored to be working with the California Rodeo.
It was a parade.
And in this instance, we have a parade that runs right through our beautiful downtown area. It's a very historic parade, and this is our second year, of which was this past summer, of producing this show. We knew we needed some extra good hands, and Alejandro led me to Hector, and man, now we're look at where we're at now, and look at what he's able to do for us behind the scenes. He has
he's the man.
so much more talent than besides operating a camera, and we're honored to have you, Hector.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, his
I'm
films are
excited.
badass.
And his
They're
films,
short, they're shorter,
Mhm.
but like super engaging content. Like he's
definitely.
He's got a really good eye.
Yeah, absolutely.
First time I saw it, I was because we were working at the TV station.
Yep.
And just little by little, like just like film it. We're just talking camera stuff, and then he was like super humble. He didn't go like, oh yeah, check out my stuff. Like people were like, oh yeah, I filmed. Like look at my stuff. But
Yeah.
like now he was like super like quiet about it. And then I see it, I'm like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
it says like the work speaks for itself.
Right? No,
like,
definitely. Yep.
Like that's
And
come on,
he
those
does
things.
it. He's that secret, the sneaky. he's
secret sauce.
the secret sauce. He's the sneak. He has a sneak attack on.
attack.
He's a ninja. He's
Yeah,
a ninja.
yeah.
He's
Comes at night.
Thank you,
and
guys.
edits all
Appreciate it.
night. Yeah.
Attacks
bro.
at night.
This guy comes here the next day walks in maybe somewhere around the 10 o'clock hour. He goes, I'm on 3 hours of sleep. And I was like, I'm with you, bro. I understand that life. I understand that life. That's usually the life of a creator, especially a video creator. And his films, I have been on that YouTube channel. They are very cinematic and sports and basketball, and they tell a good story. And we applaud you, man.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Good work. Again,
Appreciate
that's
it.
why we're honored to have you part of our team. So again, on today's show, we're you guys are getting the opportunity to learn a little bit more about us. I really haven't dived into my story so much, and I won't go so deep, but that's because I think week after week after week of them listening, they're gonna really get to understand or know who I am, or again, 2 weeks ago we were honored again to have one of my friends, Glenn McDowell, a local photographer, and just alone I went back and I listened to that story, and it's just like, okay, yeah, people were understanding that I've been producing videos since I was in high school. When I graduated high school in 2000, and a couple years later, as I really started to build my own business, my own name, and my own reputation, again, I think stories like that will start to come out week after week, and people will have a good understanding that through the years of being a sole proprietor, and mostly my niche work has always been video, and video. Not again, we said weddings, but I'm not a wedding producer these days. We create commercial content. Most of our work is for businesses, large or small, you know, whether it's for the web these days, whether it's for social media, you know, a social media Instagram thing or YouTube content or a documentary. These are more the works that we're into today. But people will learn that as the week to week as we unravel who we are and what we're doing. And again, I'm not just a video producer. You know, through the years, I've had to. How do I say, you're the one man band, you know, and that's been me for so many years, you know, where I've had to, from the start, learn Photoshop, learn Illustrator, you know, learn the basics of HTML and CSS and anything and everything that potentially can make you money in this digital world. I've personally have dove into, you know, and now through the years, and actually I was being pushed probably 2009, 2008, 2009. I was starting to be pushed onto digital marketing. I had always been social media marketing. I had always been helping my friends with social media profiles from the days of Friendster and then MySpace and creating MySpace, you know, custom backgrounds and adding music to the page.
Yeah, I had a MySpace.
You had a MySpace?
In like 5th grade.
You're too young for that. You're too young for MySpace.
I was hip. Dude, that's how I learned HTML and CSS.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I thought I could do computer science, but I was completely wrong. But, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
just because I could code on MySpace, I thought I could do it.
I really did too. And then it got to a point where I was creating my own custom code, and I was like, then all these developers just started making their own custom codes and all these pages where you copy and paste it, and people still, my friends still didn't understand the concept of copy and paste that code. Anyways, you know, now through the years, and then Facebook come along, and then Instagram, and of course Twitter, and I think that I've been kind of evolving into a digital marketer as I'm helping my clients with their own profiles. Well, you know, I had one client that was really pushing me very, very, very early, and I'm talking like 10 years ago or like 2009, 10, trying to push me towards like Google AdWords and things like that. He's like, this is the future. And I ignored it for so long. I ignored him. I ignored it. It's like, that's some, one, I don't want to get into to playing the, let me buy it for you and let me sell it for, you know what I mean? And invoice you for these ads. Like, I didn't really understand how to get into these games, you know what I mean? And this market. And be honest, I didn't understand online ads, you know? I didn't understand, why would anybody want to place an online ad when you're putting a TV commercial, you know? You're spending your money where it really counts, on television. Why you want to put an ad on social media or whatever? I don't even think you can do that then, you know? And like but there was Google ads, banner ads, things like that, pay-per-click, and then through the time and era, especially over like the last 3-4 years, I mean, that's weighed heavy. Yeah. And it's starting to skyrocket.
Yeah, now it's like after every scroll you get an ad.
Oh, ads are all over the internet. Ads from all kinds of companies. Over the last couple of years, it's still kind of, I felt some effects of it still being on a teeter-totter. You know, clients are still not really clear, especially in a small community like ours. You know, maybe in bigger markets, you know, the big companies may be saying this is the only place we're going to spend our marketing budgets. You know, we're not going to do a newspaper or radio or even television. They're traditional marketing. You know, they're just going to go straight digital. But then you got the guys here locally that's like, trying to hear that noise, you know, and they're calling it noise because they're like, well, look at Apple, look at Verizon, look at AT&T, look at where are their ads at on television. I'm gonna keep my money there. You know, if they're putting their money there, I'm gonna keep my money there. But you know, does that make sense? So it's a little bit of a scary world, and I hope that through this show, you know, we can connect our business owners and people in digital marketing or that are leaning into that field. I hope that we can just have 1 or 2 or 3 little tidbits that will keep them listening and they'll keep them informed and that they might find beneficial to their day to day.
Yeah, that's a very important point, because I mean, I guess getting the message for the viewers, the people, the clients, the market. And they're asking themselves these questions like, why to market here? Why to market there? So maybe, hopefully, this podcast can give them more of a clear vision, you know, and understanding on where they want to strategize their next move for their business.
Right.
And with that, I have to ask you, so why a podcast?
Yeah. Why?
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and that's one
What's
of
the importance of a podcast? Not just any podcast, but just a podcast. Period. How has that benefited everything?
So that's a great question and that's one of the reasons I wanted to just have this talk here today is what is the benefits of us sitting around the table, giving listeners ideas, tips, tricks, wouldn't for free wouldn't the idea be for them to just trust us and then just come hire us? You know what I mean? Well, what about listening to us a little bit, having a good understanding of where we're going to take their business, and that might not be through us. That might be through the person sitting across from me. That might be from the person we call in from the East Coast, from the Midwest, wherever, you know what I mean? Wherever these phone calls are coming in from via Skype, FaceTime, and we have these conversations, and that listener may choose to work with our company. They may choose to work with the person across from us, and that's okay.
Just making connections.
I'm just making these connections. I'm getting that good understanding. I want them to have that good understanding.
I just plugged in the podcast name.
Yeah.
Making a connection.
That was a good tie.
But,
and again, why a podcast? I'm still not answering the question. So
well, how I like podcasts.
I'm gonna answer it. Yeah, but go ahead.
But yeah, like I like podcasts. Like everybody does. Like, and I know you like some different, some good ones out there.
I love podcasts, but what I really enjoy is a lot of these vlog videos that I've been watching through the years. And again, our last episode was with. That's why I was excited when I invited again Julio Gil from Central Coast Sign Factory, show number 2. Go take a listen. We're talking about vlogs, and it's like why he found the importance and value of video and how powerful video is for your own personal brand and marketing, to establish yourself, to give the viewer credibility of who you are and what you're doing. Exactly. Now I've done that on a personal level, where I was trying to get into making some daily vlogs, and even though I maybe wasn't consistent and was doing it every day, the few that I kind of put out there was like friends, family, and other people within my local area of business caught wind of it, and they're like, "That's fun, that's cool." They were getting a little insight in my life. That content that I created for my own personal, started to evolve into that credibility that I can do not just their work, commercial work, my own work. They trusting me. You know what I mean? It's like that sense of trust in like, hey, he's a good person. I'm not trying to put myself. I could be a bad person. You know what I mean?
He's pretty good.
I could be a bad person. You know what I'm saying? But I think that if I'm really just exposing who I am in real life, the nerd that I am with my Star Wars stuff, and we're real people, we're introducing ourselves. We're not the multi-bazillionaires, you know what I mean, sitting on the other end.
You're not like just an entity, you're a person.
We're a person. Exactly. Good way of saying it. Again, we're real people making real conversations. Still not answering why a podcast.
Why a podcast?
Here we go. Why a podcast? I think and I believe that those in marketing, in their own personal brand, and they're creating, again, vlogs and or podcasts, because that's the future. That's the future of marketing. Not only video content, these audio experiences. If a business like ours isn't progressing forward with what technology, podcasts have been around for years. I don't know the actual date. But man, iTunes came out years and years ago, and hey, we've got these things called a podcast where you can create these RSS feeds, from your website using iWeb or whatever it was app that they built, which was, again, over 12 years ago, maybe, that I can remember, 15 years ago, and these things existed, but we didn't know how to take advantage of the tech and utilize it for our own business. Maybe we may have learned how to do it for our own personal reasons and our own personal stories, but how do we take technology and make it our own, that can give us, again, credibility in who we are to the listener? That's something like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that why did I create a podcast was for that. On top of, I knew that I invest almost weekly. You guys see me, you know, I mean, I invest almost weekly, monthly, weekly, daily, project to project. I'm investing in my small business, you know, and as this operation has been growing and these investments have been happening, I thought when we're not using them, they're not doing. They're just sitting in a closet. They're just sitting in storage.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like so we have all these tools, you know, to drive not only this audio experience but also this visual experience that you're gonna go and click subscribe to right now. You know, and again, I'm not the most comfortable person behind a microphone. I'm not the most comfortable person in front of a camera. But I want to, again, build credibility in what we're doing in this digital marketing world. I'm not necessarily practicing what I'm preaching to my clients because my pockets may not be quite as deep. Our business is establishing, and I can't necessarily have the means to put out all these paid ads, put out all, you know what I mean, and do all this retargeting that we're selling our customers and pay-per-click and Facebook ads, et cetera, et cetera. So what can we do to keep our name out there in our community and even beyond? And again, I think that anybody that's listening to this right now that's looking for ideas and ways to market their business because they have no money, and that's just not an excuse, bottom line. Not in our day anymore. And that's why I need, that's why my itch and my passion for this operation to happen.
Yeah.
Alejandro, hook me up. Let's make a show intro. We gotta make a logo. We gotta make a logo. I don't care. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know what I mean? Like let's not make excuses. We have time, but we don't have a lot of time. You know what I mean? If we wait too long, we're gonna go broke. You know what I'm saying? Like let's get it out there, the story to the people, or our message to the people. So that way then, and our messages and what we do, who we are, and let's build our brand. Let's build our credibility.
Plant our seed.
Let's plant our seed. You know, like that's just it. There's in this space today, in the digital marketing realm of social media and these Hector, how much did it cost us to put this show number one on the World Wide Web, on iTunes and all that? How much did it cost us?
Nothing. It's free.
I mean,
Well,
Where's our invoice? Zero.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it didn't cost us anything, you
Just a
know?
little bit
And
of
everybody else in business that's got their podcasts out there, this equipment in this room costs something. You know what I mean? These are the benefits that our team and that this company has versus maybe others. And they're gonna ask, well, I don't have all that much. You know what I mean? I don't have all that equipment, and you got a really nice studio. This right here can do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Anchor.com or Anchor. Whatever it is. What was it?
FM?
FM, Anchor.fm, or download the app on iTunes or Google or whatever, and you can talk into it for 3 hours or however long you want to and launch a podcast.
And if you guys listening want to know more about that specific app, you got to tune into our future episodes where we discuss it further.
That's a good one. I like it.
And we go in depth into how to create your own,
I like
launch it.
I like it. Did I answer
Feed it
the
to the
question?
people.
Did I answer the
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
Did it? Was I rambling?
No, you answered it.
If I was rambling too much in the edit, let's cut that. But let's. But you get what you get where I'm
We
coming
get it.
from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not spending traditional dollars on this project, you know, or even boosting this project.
We're
or
using
even
what we have, and then we're just trying to plan for the future, plant our seed. You know,
planting
to-
seeds, planting seeds. You know, I hope you, the listener, listening right now, and are thinking, hey, maybe you're watching. You're like, damn, that's quality. You know what I mean? I'm confident in every project I show up to, audiovisual event. Again, doing a live stream for our clients. This one here is not live streamed today. In the future, I mean, we've got it right there. I could take a live call right now from FaceTime. We'll pull it up in this TV as you've seen in the past episode. and we can do live streaming if we want, but we're providing that service to our clients with confidence, and somebody may see this and who knows where, Seattle or New York, and say, hey, that's the team I want to work with. You know what I mean? So that's what those are the seeds that we're planting, and I think those types of projects don't happen alone with a guy like myself, though we may have started the foundation. It takes all of us in this room to make this happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that week after week, people will hear that, will understand that, will know that, and understand that we do so much more than just video. I think I really tattooed that into the brains of my local community and throughout Monterey County of Alex Garcia is a video producer, and you got to give him a call if you need a commercial or you need any of that stuff. But it's really slipped them that, and they don't know that, I've got Jovan over here on my right-hand side, and I got Alejandro to keep creating, good video content and good social media content, and now Hector creating a bunch of micro content and helping us with things like this. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. So, you did talk about why you want to do it. So, can you tell us a bit about what value you plan to give to everyone else that's watching?
Yeah, I think just right now I just did. I think I really just said, like I said, I try not day to day. I'm trying not to make excuses for myself, not to make shows or things like this happen. You know what I mean? With what I know, the tech that's being given to us, it just takes one. It just takes one project. It just takes one image. One day I'm nobody. You know what I mean? I'm nobody. I'm just a person in a small community. And one day I posted a picture at a sporting event, and next thing you know, I've got 30,000 views the next morning on a little video. Nice. How does that happen? You know what I mean? How does the internet is so powerful? You know what I'm saying? So right now, I'm saying, yeah, we've got all this nice equipment in this room and making a really professional, well-produced podcast. I think this is on another level. We might not have, I'm not no Joe Rogan, you know what I mean? But I think, we're making a very professional show on another level that many clients can come in, and whoever's thinking about doing it, they can utilize our space and ask our team to do it for them. But what value am I giving them right now as they're listening? Don't make any excuses. All you need is a simple phone. All you need is a Zoom H4n or whatever it is, and an XLR cable and a $100 microphone. $300 later, you're making a podcast. You know what I mean? I want to give that listener right now. This is a little motivational speech.
Yeah.
I'm a what's that guy's name that gets all their audience? They're 50,000 plus the show, or 20,000 jumping up and down in a seat. What's that?
Joel Osteen?
Oh, that's a different. I'm not good with names. I'm not good with quotes. I'm not good with acronyms. I'm not
I
good.
have a really good quote, but we'll get to that. I think you're trying to say is give them courage and encouragement.
Encouragement, sure.
To take their business to the next level.
Yeah.
Because this is definitely something that's going to benefit business owners, know?
Yep.
Our clients and our non-clients that are listening, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea. I want to try that. And then, they'll see the results for sure. If you do it right, if you take these little tips and strategies that we're going to go over, if you really, focus, it will, you will see the results.
Yeah.
In your end numbers.
And in the end, I have a lot of clients that actually call me in to consult them. Mm-hmm. How do I do this? How do I do that? You know what I mean? I mean, let's just have to, I got to charge for my time, and they understand that. That's why they call me in. But, that could be valuable to them as well. I mean, this right now is free consultation.
Yeah, consultation library.
Library, exactly. Yeah, definitely. But I had this. I took off today for a lunch meeting, and in that lunch meeting, one of the guys, lady, one of our clients, social media client, has a new employee, and said, he approached me and said, we could just do this ourselves. It's like, how many times do me and this story go on throughout the world?
That's a famous line.
That's the famous line.
We could do it ourselves.
We could do it ourselves.
Of course you can.
Yeah.
Physically.
Most businesses start and stop really as quickly as they started.
They realize how much time it takes, how much creativity it takes.
Their consistency
And you
is
get burnt out.
Their consistency is not there.
When you're running a business, how often are you gonna think like, oh, I need to post this on social media?
Right.
There's a lot like I know Alex's mind running like 1,000,000 miles per hour, so I can only imagine other people.
And sometimes we're guilty of that too.
Yeah.
We're working with all of our other customers and clients. I mean, again, I want to push this show week after week after week. And you guys have been hearing me, how motivated I am to just push this every week. Again, today's a Friday. The last 2 shows, we launched it on a Friday, and it's been a busy week. And it's like, no excuses. We got to get this done. And the email marketing that we've been doing, and that's new for us. And the occasional blog that's on our website, and that whole cycle, the whole circle that just needs to work. We're applying that every day to our clients and to their companies, and we're giving her, I mean, and this podcast is just a little way to kindly share some good insights, but at the same time create credibility, behind who we are. And if you're listening to this right now and you're in who knows where, London, you know what I mean, and you can weigh some good. You have some good insights on digital marketing, and that fits one of the topics of our show. We'd love to have you. You know what I'm saying? Because not only are we kind of cross promoting, but we're again giving good value to our customers and just to the people out there. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is the time. This is the type of platform. Vlogging is where it's at for personal brands and for small businesses like our friends who came last week at Central Coast Sign. That's just the future. And I think everybody knows that video content is king. We're doing this video experience and audio experience. Some people can't always just sit there with that. You know what I mean? They tune in with the headset on and they're going about their day, their morning run, morning motivation, whatever it may be.
Yeah. At the gym.
Their gym,
anywhere.
wherever. Yeah, make sure again hit that subscribe button.
iTunes,
Please.
Spotify.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Where are we at?
Where we at?
Well, we're gonna have to. You got it. We are gonna be on Google. We're not there yet.
Pretty much Anchor's our main.
Anchor's our main platform, our main app, and
we're gonna go Spotify, iTunes. What's that box? Something.
Yeah,
there's so many.
There's so many, but
we're still experimenting.
we're
Redbox.
Redbox.
Bird box?
Bird box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be on the big ones, and we hope that people are subscribing and tuning in and listening to us. I'm sorry, I keep talking, and now I'm just going to not let you guys talk. But
Can I say something?
Can I say something? Wait, what?
We've got to raise your hand.
Raise your hands when you're talking. No, I tuned into a podcast, and I'm not going to say the name or anything. And I know that this happens, and it's going to happen to ours as well. I listened to the first 10 minutes of the show. I was all pumped up, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. I got about 10, 12 minutes in, which is probably pretty average listening time. And I'll be 100% honest. It dipped so hard that I said I never want to listen to one of these.
Oh, this is not going to dip because I got some trivia for you guys.
I hope
not going to dip.
I hope if this show, if right now you've listened this far in and you're listening to our show dip, you better comment and you better tell us to pick
it's coming back up
you
right
better
now.
You better tell us like,
Coming
hey,
back.
this is what I want to listen to. This is what I want to hear. This is some. You know what? You may have something you wanted to just learn more about. I can't say we're going to teach you on this show, but I can say that we may weigh in on some of those topics. If you're so kind to make a comment, subscribe, just keep listening, drop me that line, send me your critiques. I've been getting a whole bunch of them just through our first 2 shows. Everybody's a professional producer, and
Nice.
and it's all good. I'm not usually the guy in front of the camera. I'm the guy behind the camera, and we're the creators behind the scenes, and we're happy to do that. But now we're gonna put ourselves out there just a little bit more, So it should be good. What were you gonna say?
Oh yeah, the exciting part about this trivia portion is that it brings a monetary value behind it.
Yeah.
Who would have known? Whoever gets this right wins $1
Whoa, wait, in this,
from America.
in this room or
In
just
this
in
room.
general?
In this room. Well,
Okay.
in general, it
Oh,
can't
coming
because the
out-
answer will already be
Coming out
answered.
of your pocket.
Come in.
Yeah, of course. I wrote it.
You're
Yeah, I
gonna,
have
you're gonna
to pay.
PayPal him. You're gonna pay. I'll PayPal
I
you.
do
Venmo?
You have Venmo?
Venmo.
I just signed
Venmo.
up.
Apple Pay.
Apple Pay is good.
So-
I'm an Apple payer.
Yeah, same.
Here you go. You guys ready?
Yeah, go hit
All
us.
right. So, podcast. Do you guys have any idea what the name, like how it originated? Dun dun dun.
Hey Siri. No.
Siri. So, how did the name podcast originate?
Good question. I have no clue.
Was it because I mean I'm assuming like pod coming from like iPod did like the podcast like officially like originate like from
Apple.
He's close.
Apple.
Very, very
Apple.
warm. Very warm.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean like that's
Yeah?
all I got.
Is that what
Alex?
it is? I
Close.
I'm not even gonna guess.
There's another part. That's 50%.
Okay, I'm not gonna guess, but because of because
You know this
casting.
one.
RSS feed. It's an RSS feed, so that's casting to the world.
So yeah,
It's casting to the world, right? Onto their iPods because
Close.
Apple created podcasting.
Is that your final answer?
I'm gonna go for it.
Hector, what about you? What do you think
Ooh.
the name podcast originate from?
Let's see. I want to say something kind of like the 2001 kind of thing.
Y2K?
Y2K, yeah. So something with the future,
That was
something with the
99.
radio. No.
That was
That was 99
1999.
leading into
Dang.
2K.
And you had to turn off your computer before midnight.
No, I'm thinking something like that. Maybe it's like the radio. Or I don't know. So they probably
Close.
thought radio.
You're
was
also
something
close,
like that.
but it comes from the word iPod
Uh-huh.
and
Okay.
broadcasting.
And broadcast
okay.
casting. Yeah.
Podcast.
I saw you at 50 cents.
Podcast. So you get 50 cents.
Yeah, all right.
You get 50 cents.
Nice. No,
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. Do you know what year?
No, that was definitely not
Let's Siri that.
part of the.
Hey Siri.
But and there's also a really
Hey Siri. Oh, this.
Go ahead.
When was the first podcast created?
I'm gonna say 99.
I found something on the web about when was the first podcast created. Check it out.
September 2003.
Oh.
Wow,
Let's see.
I was close.
Hold on 1 second. Let's see.
And then I have a quote by a very famous
Well, podcasting. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, we'll take
literature
that.
writer,
Previously known as audio blogging.
audio blogging.
Oh shoot.
See, I didn't even do my homework on what the history of podcasting is. This is weekly. I'm on the Wikipedia
I have
page
a
right here.
historic
Hit us
quote
with it.
from a very well-known writer,
Hit me with it.
and he wrote this: "To podcast or not to podcast? That is the question."
Yoda, no.
William Shakespeare. No, that one I made up. That one I made up.
Do you guys dig
It
what we're
just
doing
seemed
here?
to fit.
Do you guys dig what we're doing here with this whole podcasting thing? We're a couple weeks in.
Yeah.
Of course.
I love it.
What,
Can't wait for our next episode. Can you? Are we safe
Well,
to brief on our next
I will-
episode?
I will brief on that just a little bit in just a second. Right after everybody subscribes.
I thought you were gonna say right after these commercials. I was like,
That'd be
"Whoa,
good. If
that
anybody
was
wants to be a
powerful."
sponsor, now we're doing this entirely for free. So if anybody wants to be a sponsor, now's a good time. If you're listening, just give us a call, send us an email.
Should we fire the commercial? Be like, we can do things like this.
Yeah, yeah.
And then fire our
you know
commercial.
what, Hector? Show them what you could do with these. Like, let's roll that intro again.
So
we could do it at any
your
time.
commercial.
second.
Your
Yeah.
commercial could be
There
this
we go.
podcast.
Your commercial could be right here, sponsoring our show. You
guys ready?
Supporting
in
our
which Alex is gonna fire it off, right? You'll fire off the commercial.
maybe something like
Yeah,
that.
it'd be
A
like-
transition like that can happen,
Yeah,
right?
go for it.
Yeah, a transition
Do
like
it.
that. You know, and before we move forward on telling you who our next guest would be, we've got a special message from our sponsors, and our sponsor today is ourselves, the Connection Podcast. Check it out. Check out what they got to offer. Dope! It's our commercial. Look at that. Look at that. You see? We could do that.
Yeah, that was sexy.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was edited by Alejandro. Thanks for doing
Oh,
that.
thank you. Couldn't have done it without all you guys. You guys
That's
are
awesome.
all in it.
It's just we do have one that has audio little the one that's in the beginning of the show that has
Little
a
script.
little script that I put together. And again, the connection. I'm reading that little script that's kind of here and not word for word, but each week we bring you successful entrepreneurs and business owners. I in the last show, some people heard that. Like, I kind of struggle with the word entrepreneur, and that will come up probably periodically, week to week to week. Hopefully, I would just get it through my mind that just goes away, and business owners all are just entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? So, again, we bring you successful entrepreneurs that provide informational, inspirational, and motivational success stories in the world of digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was really what the the premise of this show, on top of being able to provide them some good insights on and tips and tricks on Instagram. You know, Jovan may weigh in on some good Instagram tricks and tips, and we may be exploring some really amazing profiles and or Facebook pages that are killing it, and why we think they're killing it, and maybe some actual paid marketing tips, paid Facebook marketing tips, Google ad tips, retargeting, so these are all things that we plan to cover on top of video production. Our first show was about drones. We're a digital marketing talk show. We're talking about drones, you know what I mean? But it going back and listening to that, it weighs heavy in the content creation process of what people want today. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it was a good little chat. You know what I mean? It's a little long. Tune in, take a listen. But that's what we plan to bring week after week after week. Again, with the guests on the show, and sometimes there won't be a guest, and it'll be us sitting around the table talking about some Facebook ads or whatever it may be, or LinkedIn ads. Let's not forget them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So. But any last words, as we're wrapping up this show?
I think my last words for episode 3 would be that I'm very much looking forward to episode number 4.
Yeah. I'll
And
tell you all a little bit about that.
urging everybody to tune in, because that's going to be a really, really good episode. I don't want to reveal too much information right now, but I'm like already, I can't wait to shoot it.
Yeah. No,
I'm excited on why we're doing the podcast. I love the idea, and I think our clients and people that are joining us from other places that are just listening and hanging out are going to get, hopefully we're going to give them some really good content on things that interest them on the digital marketing side of things.
I'm with you, and I'm gonna shed a little light on our next guest just before we wrap this show. But Jovan, Hector, got any last words you want to share with the people?
I'm really excited just for the fact that I love listening to other people's stories, especially from a business owner's perspective. I think everyone could take some value from that, because in our own way we're the entrepreneur in our own life. We're like the protagonist in our story, and a lot of the things that we talk about on this story with business owners is going to be relatable, and it might not relate to you with business, but maybe a personal goal or personal endeavor that you want to accomplish.
True story.
Dig it. Hector?
I'm actually excited to just hear everyone's story, like how they started, what got them to do what they're doing.
Hey, you can't say what you want.
Cool, man. No, I like the origin, kind of like
The origin
like
story.
Julio. Yeah, because especially me, I'm trying to also, do my own thing. I'm a freelancer, and I just get inspired being surrounded by awesome people like today, and also in the future. It's just cool hearing everyone's story. It's it's something that I think we as humans, we can all relate to. And then kind of touching to what Alex said earlier, it's kind of like we all have the tools. Now we just got to do it. We have a phone. It's practically a computer in our pocket. So now it's getting the extra spark motivation from, our guests.
Yeah. And our next guest that we're going to be bringing on the show next Wednesday. Again, it's we're really excited to have her, and a girl that we had the great honor of meeting a year ago. Her name is Amanda McLaren. And I'm sorry, Amanda, if I butchered your name.
McLernon.
Yeah, sorry if I butchered the name. McLernon and Co. She is a, and I should have done a little more homework, but she runs a social media marketing company, a social media business. And next week, we're going to be talking about Instagram and its importance for your business.
Yeah.
So we're really pumped. We're going to have Amanda on through the show from time to time. She's got a great little company. She powers some Instagram and some social media companies pages that are tens of thousands of users large. And again, she has a team of content creators just like ours. You know,
She's out of Denver,
and she's
Colorado.
out of Denver, Colorado. And we're going to be FaceTiming her in.
Yeah.
And we're really excited to have her on the show next Wednesday. We'll probably be posting that show sometime at the end of the week.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be interesting, and seeing like maybe getting her insights on the differences of the markets like here and then over there. You know, I'm sure they have a very interesting move over there, what they got going.
We'll be filming her show on the 23rd of July here. January. January 23rd, 2019. And again, it probably show be released on the 25th. So if you're listening and tuning in now and it's Sunday or Monday or sometime in between those days, just stay tuned. And I think that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Again, I'm super excited that you guys tuned in, listened to a little bit of our story. As I shared and said, you know, I'm going to give you a little taste of who I am week after week after week. So for all those that know me, know I can probably talk to this camera for another 6 hours or so. But that's all the time we have for today. Guys around the room, thank you so much. Thank you, Mag One Media team. Make sure you're checking out our website, mag1media.com. We'd love you to just send us a message. Send me an email. You can send the team an email, Alex at Mag1 Productions or team at Mag1 Productions. But that's pretty much our show for today. Don't forget, I can't keep expressing this enough. Take your time. Sign up for that Google account or that YouTube account. Hit that subscribe button right below. If you're tuning in on iTunes, hit the subscribe button. You know, really honored for you to tune in week after week. Again, my name is Alex. This is the Connection Podcast. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace.
Later.